Namaskar. Welcome to this edition of News Bulletin. In the headlines today, SAIL records highest ever quarterly production and sales, caps the performance with best ever annual sales. "30 shift in charges of Rourkela Steel Plant awarded for exemplary work." And CEO RSP dedicates its Steel Club to employees of Rourkela Steel Plant. Now the news in detail. Steel Authority of India Limited, the Maharatna PSU, has recorded its best ever quarterly performance in both production and sales during Q4 FY21. Despite the volatility in the market during the year, the determined efforts by the company to improve its volumes saw it clock its best ever annual sales at 14.87 million tonne, a growth of 4.4% over 14.23 million tonnes during financial year 20. Commenting on the performance, Srimati Soma Mandal, Chairman SAIL, said, after the difficult market conditions during the initial months of the financial year, the company adopted focused approach on improving its volumes, improving operational efficiencies, operating the facilities at optimum levels, deleveraging its balance sheet, reducing its inventory levels, etc. The multi-pronged strategy has helped us top the performances during the month, quarter as well as the year. The team effort by the SAIL employees helped in seizing the opportunity offered by the pickup in the economic activities in the country, especially the steel-intensive sectors like infrastructure, construction, automobiles, etc. In line with its focus on reducing the borrowings, the company has reduced its gross debts by around rupees 16,150 crore to stand at rupees 35,330 crore provisional as on 31st March 2021, vis-a-vis rupees 51,481 crore as on 31st March 2020. 30 shift in charges of Rourkela Steel Plant were awarded the Performance Excellence Award for shift in charges in recognition of their exemplary leadership and outstanding work done by them towards achieving improvement in production, maintenance, services, cost, quality, industrial relations and safety. Mr. Rajveer Singh, ED, Hospital Administration, and Mr. Pankaj Kumar, ED, Works, presented the awards to them in a program organized at HRD Centre, Lawn, on 1st April in the presence of Mr. Deepak Chattaraj, CEO. The program was attended by CGMs, senior officers, and award winners from different departments. The shift in charges who received the awards for excellence are Mr. Amya Ranjan Biswal, SOST, Blast Furnaces, Mr. Ashwini Kumar Panda, MOMT, RMHP, Mr. Duga Munda, MOMT, Sintering Plant 2, Mr. Manoranjan Dash, MOMT, Steel Melting Shop 2, Mr. Sirip Chandra Soren, Master Operative, LDBP, Mr. Basanta Kumar Behera, MOMT, Hot Strip Mill 1, Mr. Prashanta Kumar Patro, SOST, Roll Shop, Mr. Benu Sahu, OCT, New Plate Mill, Mr. Kailash Subudhi, MOMT, Silicon Steel Mill, Mr. Ashok Pradhan, Senior Technician, FMM, Mr. Sitakanta Patra, MOMT, Shops Mechanical Shop, Mr. Uma Shankar Panda, Boiler Controller, CPP1, Mr. Asit Kumar Pine, MOMT, Oxygen Plant, Mrs. Meera Pati, Senior Nursing Sister, Medical, Mr. Ananta Kumar Patra, Senior Manager, Coke Ovens, Mr. M. Srinivasa Rao, Senior Manager, Sintering Plant 1 Operation, Mr. Himanshu Kumar Datta, AGM Blast Furnaces Operation, Mr. Jitendra Kumar Rath, AGM Steel Melting Shop 2 Operation, Mr. Ajay Kumar Sethi, Manager Hot Strip Mill 1 Electrical, Mr. Satyadev Sharma, Manager Plate Mill, Mr. Abhijit Patnaik, Deputy Manager New Plate Mill Operation, Mr. Ambuja Kumar Malik, Manager Civil Engineering Services, Mr. Gagan Bihari Padi, Manager Shops RSM, Mr. Biswajit Mandal, Senior Manager Computer and Infotech, Mr. Vipin Kumar, AGM E&A, Mr. Akshay Kumar Nayak, Assistant Manager, Repair Shop Electrical, Mr. P. Vedanta Rao, AGM Contract Cell Works, Mr. Satya Narayan Seth, Assistant Manager, Traffic and Raw Materials, Mr. Banchanidhi Pothal, Manager, Town Engineering Civil, Dr. Chinni Krishna Kasi, Divisional Medical Officer, Medical. The awardees received a cash award of Rs 5,500 along with a certificate of appreciation. Notably, these shift-in-charges who have been relentlessly spearheading the campaign to enhance production, productivity and improve techno-economic parameters of the plant have contributed immensely to make RSP as the best performing unit amongst all plants of SAIL. Adding a new chapter to the HR landscape of SAIL, a club known as Steel Club, meant for both executive and non-executive employees, was dedicated to the RSP Collective by Mr. Deepak Chattaraj, CEO, in a colourful function organised on the auspicious occasion of Utkal Divas. This is a first-of-its-kind club in SAIL. Present on the occasion were Mr. Rajveer Singh, ED Hospital Administration, Mr. Pankaj Kumar, ED Works, Mr. S.K. Bahara, CGM in charge Projects, Mr. C.R. Mahapatra, CGM in charge MM and Marketing, Mr. P.K. Satpathy, CGM in charge P&A, Mr. P.K. Sahu, CGM Projects Commercial and Working President of Steel Club, Mr. Ajay Kumar Nayak, CGM TA and CSR, CGM, Mr. Praveen Nigam, in charge F&A, Dr. B.K. Hota, CMO in charge, and many other senior officers of RSP, members of the Town Welfare and Amenities Committee, representatives from Executive Association and different trade unions of RSP. The CEO unveiled a beautifully sculptured steel monument, Steel for Unity, depicting the unity and harmony amongst the employees of the steel plant in the club premises. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Chattaraj elucidated about the significant achievements of RSP in the financial year 2020-21 in general and in the last 3 quarters in particular. All these accomplishments were made possible by the employees of RSP, who worked with the singular objective of taking the steel plant forward in the path of progress and prosperity. He also described about the different steps taken by RSP to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. The CEO urged everyone to make wholehearted contribution in making Steel Club the best club of the city. Mr. Surendra Kansari, Working President RIKKS, Mr. Sanjeev Pati, Member Town Welfare and Amenities Committee, Mr. Gopal Das, General Secretary Gangpur Majdoor Manch, Mr. Basant Nayak, General Secretary SETU, and Mr. Abakash Behra, Vice President RSP Executive Association, spoke on the occasion and thanked CEO RSP and the senior management for setting up of the club, fulfilling a long-cherished dream of the employees. Mr. P.K. Sahu, CGM Projects Commercial and Working President of the Steel Club, proposed a formal vote of thanks at the end. That's all in this edition of Rockla News. Namaskar.